Hello everyone, I'm Trisha, it's me Jenny. It's time for another Not Naked video response to Trisha Hershberger's series Naked Truth, where we talk as candidly and as truthfully as possible about a subject of hers choosing, straight out the shower, no makeup, wet hair, first take, one take, etc, etc, no editing. Most people choose to do it naked, I choose not to, but either way it's not a sexy time thing, it's a being vulnerable and honest within the constraints of the internet. And today's subject is selfies, and do selfies make us more egotistical and self-absorbed and all those sort of things? And I think it's a kind of circular thinking when it comes to selfies and whether or not it leads to a greater sense of egotism. You know, as Trisha said in her video, everyone's always made, anyone who can afford has always made, you know, statuettes of themselves or paintings, and you know, there's a reason why mirrors were created. People are naturally, you know, interested in their appearance and interested in how they're perceived by the rest of the world, because you can't get into someone else's head, so the only way that you can kind of see what they see is to see yourself from a different perspective. Like, looking at my eyes right now, I can't see anything of myself apart from my hand holding camera. I can't see what my face looks like, so having that natural instinct to know the unknown is something that's always around, seeing what other people see of you. And, you know, paintings and portraits were one way of doing that. But, you know, mirrors have been around for a very long time, before that reflections in water. But as I said, it is a circular thing. I think the more that technology allows people to see themselves regularly, the more people are going to want to see themselves regularly. In terms of the internet side of things, I think the internet, like I often say the phrase internet time, where like it feels like time moves very, very fast on the internet. You need that instant, immediate response in order to feel like, you know, feel like you've got that kind of endorphin response, and that's why internet addiction exists, because it's a very instant response. I think as technology progresses, that level of instant response kind of training, as it were, is going to become more and more prevalent. The concept that you can put out an image of yourself and get a response, and immediately get that sort of, what would normally be, if it was a statuette in history, it would be years and years later when people could think of you and how you were, while now it's that instant kind of go-to response for anything that you put out. And I think because that is so addictive, it's a very thing where, you know, the more technology allows you to look at yourself, the more you want to look at yourself, the more you do it, the more feedback you get, and the circular goes round. I don't think people are naturally more inclined to do it than they ever were, but because the technology is available, I think people are becoming addicted to that constant feedback loop, not necessarily to an image of themselves any more than anyone in history has been. I think everyone's always been very self-centered in that visual perspective, but now the technology is moving at such a pace, the addiction to instant feedback regarding your appearance is something that people crave more than before. I think. I don't know. I'm notorious for leaving the house and literally, if, like, brushing my teeth and not looking in a mirror until hours into work. So I will find that my hair's frizzy, or, you know, whatever. I don't look in the mirror to do makeup because I don't wear makeup. I don't really look in the mirror to do my hair because most of the time I just twirl it into a bun and then it's done for the day. I usually brush my teeth while doing other things and then, you know, run out the door. If I'm on a morning shift, I genuinely don't look in the mirror. So, and as for selfies, like, when it comes to selfies and me, I can probably count all the selfies I've ever done on my hands. I think it's probably under 10. I've done about 4 maybe parody selfies, as in the classic, like, putting up and pout face. With me and my sisters, we did like full-blown duck face. It was a fun time, unfortunately a habit that we got out of pretty soon. And following that, the only other ones that I have, most of the ones that I have on Twitter are responses to when Phil used to stream and he would ask to see your faces, to get an idea of what his viewers look like. And most of my selfies are actually from that. But then again, I can't really talk as someone who is attempting daily vlogging, so every single day I look at my face, and every single day I look at that visual perspective. So maybe I'm completely wrong, maybe people are more egotistical than they ever are, but I've always been content with my own company. It's always something that I've, you know, way back to when I was a child, I was content with my own company. So it's one of those things where I don't necessarily think I'm more physically focused on myself. I think I'm more kind of able to share stuff in a non-social way. If that makes any sense. I don't think it did. Anyway, it's a very complicated thing. It's a very interesting question, but it's definitely something that I think it's going to be different for each individual, and their level of visual spot checking, as it were. How often do you look in the mirror? How often do you take a selfie? How often do you film yourself? And how often do you watch that back? Some videos I don't even watch back, like this one I'm not going to watch back, I'm just going to straight upload it because that's how I do. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say, so thank you all for watching. Feel free to comment. Sorry for the lack of tripod, I'm tired, I couldn't be bothered to set it up. But there we go, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys all next week for another Naked Truth, and tomorrow for a daily vlog of some kind. Hiccup. Bye!